What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a really long time, like 3 months or so. I've just been super busy with work and stuff like that, but I have done a couple things. The Audi is gone. I have some new stuff for the Subaru, and I picked up one of my dream cars. So today I'm gonna basically give you like an overview of the new car, give you an update on the stuff for the Subaru that's coming. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not going to be any crazy video yet, but I do have some stuff planned for the future and stuff. So yeah, let's check out the new car.
Why they like me so? Bitch, you talk too much. I move in the snow. Tell me what's the rush. You don't know me well. I belong in hell. All the shit I did. I'm a trouble kid. You can't break my code. 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 Yeah, you can't break my code. You can't break my code. You can't break my code.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. So yeah, guys, here she is. It's a 2013 P31 sedan. I got it with 49,000 miles on it. I always wanted one of these. For those who don't know, I'm a Mercedes-Benz tech, and I've always wanted one of these cars. This is like a dream car to me, and it still feels unreal to have it. I've had it for about a month now. I was debating on bringing it to the channel or not, just because I'm super busy with work and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, this is it. P31 gets the red calipers with the two-piece front rotors. It gets upgraded engine internals from the SLS AMG. One way to tell is obviously the red calipers. A big thing is the intake manifold is like a darker gray versus like a light, like this color gray. So if you have the dark intake manifold, that's another way to tell. But yeah, I mean, I'm in love with the car. The first thing I did was actually, I got it, and then I think a week later I brought it to Eurocharged. I got the Eurocharged V7 tune. I was skeptical because like any NA tune, you don't gain much, but it's a pretty significant difference. So if anyone's watching this and is debating on doing the Eurocharged tune, I highly recommend it. One thing I hate about it so far is, even if you bought this car with the P31 with the upgraded horsepower and the brakes and all this stuff, you still had a second option, the limited slip differential. So this car has a wide open differential, and the biggest thing with that is it one wheel spins all over the place. So I ordered a Wave Track LSD, and I'm actually going to bring this car to the drag strip this Friday, see what it does, and then after I'm going to put the Wave Track LSD in, and I'm going to get different tires for the back because the factory size is 255/35. I'm going to do a 275/35. I don't know what brand yet, I'm still trying to figure it out, with the Wave Track LSD, and then I'm going to go back to the track and see how it does. But yeah, I'm kind of speechless. I don't know much to say about it other than if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. I also did one of the other first things I did was BC coils, because I know AMG suspension, like if it had some sort of like active body control, electronic dampening, blah blah blah, I would have left it with the factory suspension. But this car is so basic, it's literally just a strut and spring setup. There's nothing crazy about it, so I tossed the BC coils in there, and it definitely brought it down to a nice stance. One thing I don't like though is the sidewall height on the front. It's like a flush to the rim, and then the back is like it's like a dinky stretch, and it just kind of, to me, throws it all off. So I'm gonna get the different back tires to make it sit even. I also did the Souvenir carbon fiber front lip. I also did the Souvenir carbon ducktail. It had a factory one, and I didn't know if I wanted to take it off or not, but I ended up taking it off and putting that on because the factory one's kind of, you can barely even notice it. I also don't know how I feel about that one yet. It's growing on me. But yeah, this is the car. Inside super nice. It's got the aluminum trim. It had the suede on the sides, but I mean, even I work at the dealer, and 2018s come in with 10,000 miles and it turns to this. It's not real Alcantara, it's some other brand, I forget what it's called, but it ain't real, or else it wouldn't do this. But it's got the aluminum trim, piano black center console trim. I just had the guy at my work refinish the wheels. They came out super nice. When I was looking to buy one of these, I knew I wanted a facelift, I knew I wanted a sedan. Those were the two things I was super picky. Actually, three things. I wanted a sedan, I wanted it a facelift, and I wanted it under 50,000 miles. And if you've ever tried to find one of these, that is pretty hard. And I was lucky enough, I didn't want black, I wanted white, because I always have black cars. But this one turned up like an hour away from me, versus the other ones I was looking at, I was gonna have to drive like, I was gonna have to fly. I was gonna have to fly to other states and look at them, you know, and like, it was just a pain. So I saw this one an hour away, went and looked at it, had a clean Carfax, two owner car. So yeah, scooped it right up. It's been good so far. The common problems like the head bolts and stuff, they aren't really a thing on the facelift models, but the cam adjusters are still an issue. This engine's pretty quiet as of right now, but I work at the dealer, so I'm lucky enough to be able to take care of that if it becomes a problem. So I'm not too worried about it. And then as far as the Subaru goes, so if you've seen any of my older videos on the Subaru, it's having some issues with fueling, I think. So I ended up getting, I have D-Works injectors and a D-Works fuel pump. And when I went to the dyno, the tuner was kind of telling me that D-Works is kind of an old company. Not old, but the stuff that I have was really old and out of date, and he didn't recommend it and stuff like that. So I ended up going with ID 1300s. I got a AEM fuel pump. I got a ETS front mount with the AEM intake air temp sensor, AEM 3.5 bar map sensor. I got a Cobb SF intake versus I have like a AEM in the fender intake, which is good, but I'm kind of like butthurt for like the intake spool sound. So I got the Cobb SF intake. I'm gonna switch over to speed density. We're gonna go back, and the car made like 487 before, but he said there was a limit on the boost, one because of the map sensor, two because I don't have a intake air temp sensor by the throttle body. So here's the thing, here's a little fun fact. If you have an in the fender intake, the MAF sensor, the stock one, is also the intake air temp sensor. So say the filter's in the fender and it's sucking in air, that MAF sensor is right there. So say it reads like 100 degrees at the MAF sensor by the intake. By the time that air goes through the inlet, through the turbo, through the intercooler, into the throttle body, it's not 100 degrees anymore. It's most likely a little higher than that. But the ECU is only reading it from the fender, so it's thinking it's 100 when it's really 140, which isn't the best. So switch over to speed density, you put that intake air temp sensor right before the throttle body, and you're getting the most accurate reading you can. And I also didn't have a fuel pressure sensor. I had to get a Cobb fuel pressure sensor kit, just stuff like that. So when we go back to the dyno, it should bump up the power a little, as long as I don't have any mechanical issues, which I don't think I do. I also got the cylinder 4 cooling mod, a couple other things that are going to go on it. But yeah, I mean, I've been gone for a while. I just wanted to give everyone an update on the new car. So C63 is going to the track on Friday. Then it's going to go back to the track the next Friday with the LSD and the new tires and stuff like that. We're going to compare the times. And then the Subaru, I'm still waiting for the intercooler from ETS. And then once that comes in, I got to put everything together. I still have to order the MAP sensor and the intake air temp sensor. And it's from a company that special makes the harness adapters and stuff. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take. But as soon as that comes in, I'm going to get going on that. A couple other things I forgot to mention is I did a secondary cat and resonator delete. I was gonna buy a cat back, but they're ridiculous. Like the prices, like anything decent is literally like $3,000, which to me, I mean, it isn't, like, to me, in my opinion, it isn't worth it. And especially with the whole EPA crackdown thing, like trying to find any type of aftermarket exhaust in stock right now is almost impossible. So I ended up talking my local exhaust shop into cutting out the secondary cat, which was a whole thing in itself, but I got it done. Sounds good to me. It's like the perfect amount of daily driver quietness, and when you want it loud, it's extremely loud. It's perfect to me. Still has the factory front cat, still has the factory mufflers, no check engine light, no nothing like that. So I did that. And the other thing I wanted to say is I come from older, like Japanese cars and stuff like that, so with traction control, like I had a 350Z and it's traction on, traction off. The WRX is traction on, traction off. The Audi, the B5 is no traction, whereas the C63 has traction on, has sport handling, and then it has off. Sport handling has to be hands down one of the best traction control systems I've ever experienced in my life for a rear-wheel drive car. You can literally mat this thing around a corner, and with traction on, it will not let it slide. Traction off, you can have all the fun in the world, and with the sport handling mode on, it will let you get sideways to a certain point without even taking your foot off the gas, wide open, and it will let you get sideways, and it won't even cut the power completely. It'll just dumb it down just enough to straighten it out and go. It's like, it's almost scary because you can get so comfortable with just like going around corners as fast as you want, and it just keeps it where you expect it to be. It's incredible. Hands down, one of the best traction control systems I've ever felt. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So just to recap, Subaru's getting some parts coming in at the moment. Once they come in, I'll start making videos for that. That should be interesting. And then as far as the AMG goes, we're going to the track this Friday. Then we're gonna put the LSD in with the new tires, stuff like that. Then we're gonna go back to the track. We're gonna compare the times. There's gonna be a dyno video for the WRX again. I might bring that to the track as well. And a bonus thing is I'm talking to a couple co-workers at my work about taking the AMG to Palmer Motorsports Park for a track day. I gotta get a couple things in line for that. It's a lot more involved than just driving to the drag strip and paying the whatever, get a ticket and just get in line. It's sign up in advance, get the car ready, change the fluids. Like, it's a whole upper ball game type deal. So, but I'm gonna try to get that involved because I definitely want to take that on the track. But all right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.